As of season 3, there are 88 sketches in I Think You Should Leave. All of them are patently absurd. But there's one theme in this show that they've been doing more and more with each season that makes it hit like no other. For context, in most of these sketches, there's one person who is clearly in the wrong.
Oh, looks like you pushed.
It does both. I was here yesterday. It actually goes both ways.
But puts forth a Herculean effort in refusing to admit it, making everyone else uncomfortable and probably wanting to tell them the name of the show. So that's the foundation of the show, but these premises often come with twists, too.
If you love it as much as you say you do, then it shouldn't be a problem if I take the receipt back.
Sometimes, one person appears to be the asshole, but instead of calling them out for it, everyone else suddenly and unanimously takes their side and turns the tables on someone else.
And I genuinely like the gifts.
Swear to fucking God?
Yes.
Then let my wife eat the fucking receipt.
Sometimes the in-universe characters recognize the absurdity of the events taking place as completely dysfunctional and they abandon it.
Oh, somebody get her! She's trying to get Jarvis! All right, you know what? This was dumb. Dump it.
I haven't been to the board in a long time.
Yeah, I know, Colleen. This show's gonna suck. That's a good idea. Dump it.
And sometimes, despite how much of a nuisance a character seems to be, we get a genuine moment of emotion that reminds us that they're human too, and that maybe all they need is just a little validation. These sketches, the ones that amidst all the silly bullshit manage to fuck around and make a point, just hit in a way that no other sketches do. They satisfy the absurdity that I crave in this type of comedy, yet rather than landing at an equally chaotic or disoriented place, we're instead landing at a heartfelt sentiment like, you're valid, everything's gonna be okay. This change is something that I find absolutely fascinating, and we're gonna call this sentimental absurdism. You can all thank this commenter from one of my previous videos for making this observation and inspiring the idea for this video. I mentioned that they've been doing this more with each season. Well, of the 88 sketches, I count 2 of this theme in season 1, 5 in season 2, and 8 in season 3. So it's grown from what was once just a small sliver of the show to now almost becoming a main theme of it, and I'm kind of obsessed. So let's break this down by starting with its most simple and subtle examples and gradually work towards the most extravagant and outstanding ones. Level 1, an honest sentiment. To start, there's the sketches that are mostly absurd that sneak in just a little honest sentiment. The copier jokes with Patty Harrison is a good example of this. Upon hearing a coworker make a Christmas joke, a woman chimes in with a few of her own.
Yep, I guess Christmas came early this year.
Yeah, Santa should have wrapped it.
What?
The printer. Santa should have wrapped it when he gave it early.
Oh.
Each with the painfully confused delivery that causes it to fall flat.
Yeah, I know. And Santa and all his elves must have worked so hard on it, and then they gave it to us early?
It's a very nice printer, Tracy.
She's taking on the role in this sketch that Tim Robinson usually does, an awkward attention seeker who's trying too hard and making everyone uncomfortable. And it's enjoyable because of Patty's expert performance.
It was just an expression.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you. I'm not popular at all.
The cherry on top, though, is when her ego is in shambles, but she musters the spirit to yell one final quip at Tim's character.
Whoa, looks like Christmas came early.
Santa brought it early.
Who casually chuckles and goes along with it.
I guess he did. Good one.
And that was all she needed. Like, damn, for a second there, that stupid bullshit just made me feel something. Patty plays a similar role in another office in season 3, where one might be quick to think her the weird one for keeping a baby rat in her drawer.
It's so easy for me just to open the desk drawer. They're in there. I take the food, I put it on the desk, and then I knock it in. No one knows what I'm doing. No one knows I have rats in there.
In an unexpected twist, the boss actually hears her out, apologizes to her, and reminds her of how valued she is at the company.
Maybe I'm a little bit hard on you because I see you rising at this place, and I could see you helping to manage it one day.
How wholesome is that? Once again, being heard and accepted was all it took to bring out this incredible moment of relief.
Tonight we go wild on.
These aren't the only 2 like this, but you get the basic idea. Level 2, quitting for the right reasons. The sentiments get a little more prominent from here. Take Carl Havoc, a guy who was way too excited to do a prank show at the mall.
Carl kind of messes with their day. Takes their lunch tray, steals a fry off their plate.
An excitement that is completely obliterated not 2 minutes into actually doing it.
You see that guy over there? I want you to go over and take his tray. Carmine.
There's too much fucking shit on me.
What?
There's too much fucking shit on me. I can't breathe.
Take a deep breath.
While he's imploding in front of everyone, going back and forth with his crew about how unbearable it is.
I'm gonna rip the fucking head off! Do not rip the head off, Carmine. I'm telling you that I am!
He takes a pause and things get real.
I don't even want to be around anymore.
What? You're saying you don't want to live because you're wearing that suit?
Yeah.
A realization so sobering that the director is taken aback and decides,
Okay, yeah, let's scrap it. Yeah, let's scrap it.
yeah, dude, if that's really how you're feeling, then let's scrap it. Like, damn, no one wants you to die over this.
Then what's the show?
God damn it.
A similar sentiment is conveyed in the final sketch of season 3 featuring Connor O'Malley, a frequent collaborator of the show with some sentimental absurdism in his own content as well.
The positivity force. A billion-person army deciding to jerk off like they just got divorced.
In this sketch, Connor's character commits to making a new video every week, something more people than ever will literally do nowadays. As a video creator myself, it hit close to home watching him get way too worked up over what is ultimately just a silly little video.
I am so worried about this video.
But even upon completing a video, he's flooded with comments from people saying he pays people in fast food.
They're saying I paid her in a Santa Fe chicken sandwich.
Why are they saying you paid her in fast food? Why would they say that?
Because I did!
And that everyone hates him so much for it, they want to kill his parents.
You see everybody online saying they want to kill my parents?
Yeah, I saw that.
Apparently they're saying they're gonna cut my dad's head off.
Jesus.
Just as he's spiraling out of control, we get a refreshing ending where he actually gives up his weekly video commitment for all the right reasons.
I gave away Tasty Time vids. Did it for my dad.
No one's ever getting this head. No one's ever cutting off my daddy's head.
I love my dad.
I love his head.
Me and Papa.
How
What's
old
your
are
dad?
you?
Can I
Can I
get
get
my
my
dad?
Level 3, Realizing Horror. Moving on, the sentiments get deeper and darker. The Claire's ear-piercing sketch, for example, is a wild ride. What starts as a joke on the nervous adult in contrast to the fearless kid, both waiting to get their ears pierced.
I know all this already. I'm not nervous at all.
You have to finish the video if you want to get your ear pierced.
Fine, all right, then go. Get out of here already.
Turns into a real trip when this motherfucker gets on screen and progressively spills more and more about his life beyond just ear piercings in his interview.
I really wanted an earring for Florida, but I was nervous to the point of diarrhea. I think I was just a little scared I was going to die on the slab, like my dad.
He starts out pretty normal until they just keep letting him yap, slipping in some real paradigm-shifting thoughts.
It's just hard to see the people who cared for you as a baby become a baby themselves.
Why did the Claire's team leave this in? It starts to take an uplifting turn for a moment, reflected in the sudden calming of the adult man in the waiting room, now transfixed on this man's speech.
If it's true that when you die, you get to go back through your life and relive all the moments, then I want some moments in there where I'm just dying laughing.
Until somehow we end up over here.
I'm sitting in an empty room, laughing my ass off to trick my dead self. I had a great life.
What?
And of course, while we're realizing horror and dread, there's one of the best sketches of season 3 in the whole show, the Darmine Doggy Door. We've seen lots of sketches in the show prior to this that are some sort of infomercial for a shitty product or service that never should have been greenlit in the first place, but none of them are packed with so many unironically profound sentiments as this one. What starts as an ad for a doggy door becomes a story of how the salesman thought he was going to get eaten when something broke in through his old doggy door, and then continues spiraling as his thought of getting eaten actually gives him a sense of relief.
When you think you're gonna get eaten and your first thought is, great, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. You're relieved you don't have to go to work because you thought you were gonna get eaten?
A commentary that's just as real as it is absurd. Realizing that fantasizing about being dead is relieving the obligation of modern life makes you question,
What the fuck is this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
I agree. I freak out about this stuff all the time. Now we're watching the salesman have an existential crisis about how much he hates his job while he's on the job.
My life is nothing I thought it should be and everything I was worried it would become because for 50 seconds I thought there was monsters on the world.
You can't tell me that isn't high art. Level 4, Deepest Inner Desires. Moving on to another one of the best sketches in the show for our second to last subcategory is The Stranger at the Diner, or the ice cream store lie. This is one of those rare sketches where Tim plays the straight man. What starts as a guy looping a stranger into his ploy to convince his daughter that they have to go home instead of getting ice cream, with a smile and a wink, the stranger goes along with it.
When the temperature drops, the ice cream machines freeze up.
But then he keeps participating in the fantasy.
And I own every kind of classic car.
What's that?
Classic cars. I own every kind of a classic car because I'm rich, right?
Realizing that he has the power to rewrite the story of his life in this moment, his imagination cannot help but realize everything he's ever wanted.
Actually, I have triples of the Barracuda. I have triples, right? If I don't have triples, then the other stuff's not true.
He has triples of the Barracuda.
He just keeps going and going and going off the rails and inadvertently revealing his insecurities and yearning for a partner.
It's just me and the open road. I go for days and days all alone. But I have a wife.
Which forces Tim to just keep lying, like he's in too deep now. He has to go with it.
You know I have a wife. Tell her about my wife.
Yeah.
She's good, right?
This sketch hits so hard, not just because it's funny, but because it's so real.
And I'm rich.
He's rich.
I don't live in a hotel.
My friend doesn't live in a hotel.
We got a good wife.
He's got a wife.
And I really think that Bob Odenkirk's performance is quite literally perfect. He couldn't have delivered any line better than he does.
She's sick, but she's hanging in there. Tell her.
You know.
Tell the kid.
If that sketch ultimately revealed that guy's deepest inner desires of love, then the driving crooner ultimately reveals one's deepest desires about career. A coworker is so kind as to offer a ride home to a friend who's unfit to drive, but without mentioning anything to them about the fact that they're riding with the driving crooner.
The hat and the cigar. You're driving with the driving crooner, baby. Fuck! They're trying to make it look fake!
A concept which is humorous when it works, but admittedly hard to pull off.
You gotta be right next to me for it to look real. You gotta be right next to me.
Adding to the stress is the fact that people hate him for doing this. He has sworn enemies and frat boys who find him in traffic and threaten to murder him.
Go now! What? Frat boys, they're gonna try and run us off the road.
What?
I'm gonna fucking kill you, driving crooner.
Why would someone do such a thing? Why go through all the trouble of putting on the charade if it's close to impossible to achieve and people want you dead for it? Especially because this is a side hustle he wants to turn into his main hustle.
I gotta figure out how to make money on this thing. It's simply too good.
What the fuck is this business model? Why would you do this? Because this is the American dream. This is his passion, his purpose, his big idea that's gonna change everything. And I know you have a driving crooner in you too, no matter how stupid your backstory sounds to other people.
When I was a kid, I fell into a river and a fish bumped me out of the water. I was supposed to die, but a fish bumped me out with its nose.
No matter how silly your idea looks to them, no matter how hard it is to make that unique thing that you love doing and figure out how to make money on it.
That was the earth telling me I was supposed to do something great. And I know that's the driving crooner. It has to be.
You can do it and you should do it. Be like the driving crooner and never give up. Level 5, you would think they're insane. And finally, we have the sketches I think have the most prominent amounts of sentimental scenes in them. In these sketches, the characters in question are behaving so weird, you guessed it, you would think they're insane. An insecure man at a party.
Insecure man.
Who gets offended when a baby starts crying when it's his turn to hold it.
Of course he cries when I hold it.
Something one could easily laugh off, but he gets stuck on it. A coworker who thought a loud noise at the office was a volcano erupting.
Whoa, what was that?
Oh, it makes a really loud sound when the air goes on.
I thought it was thunder.
I thought it was like a truck backing into the building.
I thought it was like a volcano erupting. What the hell?
Everyone makes fun of him for it. Someone jokes, I wish I could live in that guy's brain. And that seems to really affect him. A member of a live studio performance responsible for a laugh track recording is fixated on not laughing, but sharing stories of bad experiences he's had with a couple of businesses.
You know she still writes me from jail?
TK Jewelers is a scam. Watch exploded on date.
Taking it too personally, the baby holder projects his insecurity that the baby was crying specifically because it knows he used to be a huge piece of shit.
Pride just doesn't like me because I used to be a piece of shit.
Baby cried because it knows I used to be a piece of shit.
Did you used to be a piece of shit?
Oh, yeah.
Too determined he's not weird for thinking it was a volcano and likely disturbed by the way it was made out to be the oddball of the group, the employee keeps sharing the things he's seeing with his coworker until she gets in trouble for it.
I thought this was a little pimp.
The highlighter?
I thought it was a little pimp walking all around.
Too focused on himself and oblivious to the world around him, the laugh track participant relentlessly continues on with complaints about his bad experiences with a watch company and a limo company.
L&L Limos is a scam. He hugged my date.
As if dropping bad Yelp reviews in a laugh track will get the message out and serve them justice. He keeps doing this, which forces the crew to put a halt to the production. And in each of these cases, you would think he's insane. But that's precisely where the show takes an unexpectedly satisfying turn. It's revealed that in fact the baby can tell he used to be a huge piece of shit. It peers into his soul and sees him for who he really was before and accepts him for who he is now. And in a beautiful moment of connection, the employee offers his hand to his coworker and shares with her what he can see, and he wasn't lying, he did see a volcano and a little pimp. And the asshole disrupting the live performance, wasting dozens of people's time and probably thousands of dollars just so he could rant about how these two companies ruined his date.
A lot of these places, they try and rip off people like me, people who are looking for love.
Well, in a bizarre twist of fate, the director hears his stories, reflects on how it makes him feel, and ultimately decides,
well, I guess we could leave some of it in if it will help some people.
Yeah, right, a little goes a long way.
And that's all that he needed. He finally gets his catharsis about his date, because his watch did explode. There was a hand with the Super Bowl ring infiltrating his limo, and the limo driver did hug his date. These are somehow simultaneously some of the most absurd and emotionally moving sketches that I've ever seen. And that's something you can't get anywhere else, and that's how I think you should leave as changing comedy.